Greenland isn't the story, Greenland is the signal flare. Because when leaders start throwing around pressure and tariff threats in the same breath as territory, that's not a meme, that's a system changing shape. And here's the part most people miss. If this escalates, the UK doesn't feel it through headlines first, we feel it through prices, supply friction, energy anxiety and confidence. So today I'm going to show you what's real, what's noise, and why this frozen island keeps putting the world into the same argument, again and again. Welcome back to Charlie Survival. Quick one, comment down below your county or where you're watching from and tell me, do you think this is a real flashpoint or just political theatre? And if you want UK specific breakdowns without the hysteria, subscribe. We keep it calm, practical and real. Here's what you're getting in this video. 1. What's actually happening right now without the internet drama. 2. A short history that explains why Greenland keeps becoming hot property. 3. The UK takeaway, what this signals and what you do with it without panicking. And there's one thing I'll say now, most people lose their heads because they don't understand the map. Once you understand the map, you stop doom scrolling. What's actually happening right now? The internet wants this to be simple. Trump wants Greenland, then it becomes NATO is collapsing, then it becomes war tomorrow. Most of that is emotion first content. The smarter question is, what's the temperature of the system? Because when you see trade threats, diplomatic pushbacks and security language hardening, that's the temperature rising. And in the UK, you don't need to predict the future, you just need to get good at reading signals. Why the UK feels it first, prices plus friction. Let me make this real. If this turns into tariff retaliation, trade friction or allies falling out, the UK gets hit in boring ways first. Supply delays, certain items disappearing for a few weeks, price spikes, and the one nobody talks about, confidence dropping. And when confidence drops, people don't behave rationally, they panic buy, they hoard, they argue, they spread rumours. So my goal in this video isn't to scare you, it's to make you harder to shake. Now here's the twist, everyone treats Greenland like a new story. It isn't. There's a Cold War moment that proves this island has been treated as serious territory for decades, and when you hear it, the whole Greenland conversation changes. Hold that thought, first we need 90 seconds of history. The fast history that makes this make sense. Greenland is the world's largest island, absolutely massive, with a population of about 56,000, mostly living along the coast, with Nuuk as the capital. Geographically, it sits near North America, politically it's tied to Denmark, and culturally it has deep Inuit heritage with long European links. That mix is why it's complicated and why it matters. Inuits first, then Norse, then hard life. People lived around Greenland for thousands of years, Inuit peoples migrating across from the North American side in waves over time. Then you get Norse settlers arriving in the Viking era, pushing out to the edge of the world to build a life where everything is effort, food, warmth, survival. And this is the key idea. Greenland was never valuable because it's comfortable, it was valuable because it offered position and resources, and control of movement in the North Atlantic. Denmark, self-rule and independence question. Over time, Greenland becomes tied to Denmark. In modern times, it gains serious self-government, and there's a long-running independence conversation inside Greenland itself. So when you hear people talk like it's a blank chess piece, remember it's a place with people, politics and a future being debated. World War II and the US footprint, why this isn't new. World War II is when Greenland's strategic value explodes. Denmark is occupied by Germany, Greenland becomes isolated, and suddenly the island matters for three things: protecting Atlantic shipping, hunting submarines, and forecasting weather across the Atlantic. So the US begins building a footprint there. This is where the modern story actually starts. Cold War logic and Pitterfig. Then the Cold War locks it in. If you're thinking missiles, the shortest route isn't around the world, it's over the pole. That's why the US maintains major capability in Greenland, today centered around Pitterfig's space base, formerly known as the Fuel Air Base. And now the Cold War moment I mentioned. In 1968, a US B-52 crashed near Fuel while carrying nuclear weapons, causing contamination and a huge cleanup. And there's long-running controversy about what's actually been recovered and what it revealed about nuclear operations over the region. That's not rumour, that's history. So when Greenland pops up in the headlines today, don't think random. random. Think this square has always mattered. Quick practical break. If you're watching this thinking, alright, what do I actually do in the UK? I've put my baseline recommendations in one place, my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list. Torches, radio, water, power, winter basics. You don't need everything, but you need a solid base, and that list saves you hours of sitting through gimmicks. Why Greenland matters now, the 3 modern drivers. Driver 1, hard security. Driver number 1 is hard security. Greenland is useful for surveillance, early warning and strategic positioning in the North Atlantic and Arctic space. That alone is enough to keep it relevant. Driver 2, critical minerals. Driver number 2 is the modern one, critical minerals. Modern life runs on them, electronics, batteries, green tech, defense industry, and supply chains are leveraged. Greenland is often discussed because it's believed to hold a wide range of these minerals, and Western countries don't love being dependent on one dominant supplier for them. So when people say national security in 2026, sometimes they mean, can we build our future without being squeezed? Driver 3, routes and access. Driver number 3 is routes and access. As Arctic conditions shift, northern routes can become more viable at certain times, and routes are power. Superpowers have always fought over roads, choke points and supply lines. This is just the cold water version of that. What this signals for the UK without doom. The UK is a North Atlantic country whether we like it or not. We rely on shipping, imports, energy networks and stable relationships. So when a major row flares up in this sphere, it can spill into UK life as friction, supply delays, price volatility, fuel and energy anxiety, and a general tightness across systems. Not apocalypse, just enough disruption to catch unprepared people off guard. The real risk, confidence and panic behaviour. The real danger isn't always what the governments do, it's what people do. When confidence drops, behaviour changes, and once behaviour changes, systems get stressed. So if you want to win in unstable times, you don't need to predict the future. You need to become the person who stays calm while everyone else reacts. Control the controllables framework. 3 calm moves, UK specific. 1. One room warm strategy. If winter disruptions hit, don't heat the whole house. Pick one room, make it livable, blankets, layers, safe light, hot drinks, morale. 2. Power for the basics, not the fantasy. Charge phones, lights, comms, maybe a small cooker plan. You don't need to run your whole life, you need to stay functional. 3. Water and food buffer, rotated. Water plan first, then food you actually eat. No bunker nonsense, just stability. If you can stay stable for 72 hours, you're ahead of the chaos curve. Greenland isn't random news, it's a signal the world is reorganizing around resources, routes, surveillance, leverage and resilience. And when those things matter, the world gets more competitive, so you don't need fear, you need options. Options are warmth, water, power, food, cash buffer, skills and a calm mind. That's how you stay free. Alright, quick recap. Greenland matters because of position, security infrastructure, resources and future routes. This isn't brand new, the strategic logic goes back decades, and the reason it matters to the UK isn't drama, it's ripple effects, trade, friction, prices, confidence and stability. Now, comment below your country and tell me your take. Is this a genuine flashpoint or just noise? And if you want UK specific preparedness without the paranoia, subscribe. If you want my baseline gear in one place, go check out my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list in the description. It's the simplest way to build a strong foundation without buying rubbish. If you want to learn all about how to utilise your radiator heat for £15, click this video on screen now to learn all about it. Click it and I'll see you over there.